All right, guys. 4 Fingers of Death today. Menu number 6, Frankfurters from 1982. This isn't a first generation MRE, but for me, when I was in, this is about as early as they got. I was in 80 to 84, and at about the middle, they came out with MREs as far as getting them to us in battalion. So, the 4 Fingers of Death, it was 4 Frankfurters, and I have to be honest with you, this is probably one of my least favorite meals. I don't like Vienna sausage, and the Frankfurters, as they're liberally called, don't resemble a hot dog that you and I can think of as a hot dog. They resemble giant Vienna sausages, and those are just mealy, nasty things to me. So I'm thinking 40-some-year-old ones won't have improved any, but let's find out.
This ain't going to be a New York hot dog experience.
No. All right, well, we've started out. Well, this is a good thing here. We got some grape jelly. That's good. Again, from 1982. I got to think this will be all right, huh? Let's see what we come up with here. We'll put it right there. Oops. Oh, well, that looks like petroleum jelly, doesn't it? Not a lot of grape going on there. Well, maybe. You know, hope springs eternal. We'll see. Let me just smell the bouquet of the...
It's vintage. And it's grape, so maybe it's just
might
like
be
wine jelly.
All right. We have, see, and this is the thing that made it where, okay, a lot of times if you didn't really care for the main in an MRE, at least the sides were good. The problem with these sides, let me show you the problem with these sides. The problem with these sides is that they're beans and tomato sauce. Yeah. So check this out. Again, from 1982. Here we go. And we're just going to crack these babies open right now.
I'm worried.
You know, it smells remarkably similar to what it did in 1982, I'm sure. But we'll get those beans out there. You can kind of see it is just beans in tomato sauce, and normally that's not a bad dish, but these were so pasty and dry back in the day, and I can't imagine they've gotten a lot better. We've got our crackers for our
Those will probably be
jelly.
good.
Yeah, oh yeah, the hardtack will make it a long time, won't it? Look at that, they're remarkably intact. That's cool. Oh yeah, pretty crunchy. We'll get after those here in a minute. Try them with some jam. We have our Frankfurters. We'll hold on to those just till the last here. A cocoa beverage powder. These, same kind of thing. It's just there was nothing really great to go with the 4 Fingers of Death that would really recommend it. We'll go ahead and bring up our Iwo Jima cup, and we'll put our hot cocoa in there.
So what you're saying is the 4 Fingers of Death was one of the worst MREs out there.
Yeah, in my opinion, it was aptly named because typically if you ate the 4 Fingers of Death with the beans because you're really hungry and maybe you were unlucky enough to have 2 of them handed to you and there was no way anybody was going to trade with you, so you had to eat them because you got that hungry, there would be what's called a gastrocolic reflex shortly after eating said meal that made the whole journey just that much more interesting. Anyway, here's our little spoon from back in 1982. We've got our accessory pack. Let's take a look here. I don't think we'll have any Bill's Brew or anything special like that in our accessory pack. But let's see what we have. All right, we've got some gum. We'll enjoy that. Whoa, I don't remember that at all. Now that might resurrect or save or redeem this meal if they haven't gone bad. The problem with milk caramels is a lot of times they go bad, actually. We've got our napkins / paper towel, / toilet paper. Our creamer. There's what I was thinking. Oh, that's ketchup. Oh, ketchup for the hot dogs. Dehydrated ketchup. We'll have to put that together.
And they spell it catsup.
Ketchup, yeah. Well, and we used to. That's how everything was spelled.
Yeah, that was like an old way of spelling
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was ketchup. It turned into ketchup somewhere along the line. Instant coffee, no brand. We got our matches. Got to check those out. I'm sure 42-year-old matches work just fine. And, let's see here. We have sugar and salt for the hot dogs and beans, I guess. All right. And it is iodized, which will help in case of a nuclear fallout. Now, let's see here. Let's mix our ketchup together real quick here. I want to see how that works from 40-some years ago.
Yeah, since it's dehydrated, that'll actually probably be perfectly good.
Yeah, and it's real, what is it? It's like it's still molded together. It's not powder form. It doesn't feel like it at all. Let's see here. It is, see, you can see it's like Chiclets gum. But we'll see. We'll see. Hope, like I say, the thing with the MREs is hope springs eternal. Whether you've had it 100 times and you know it's not any good, you always hope that maybe it'll be better this time. Or you're trying it for the first time and it looks disgusting, but hope springs eternal. You're hoping it will be different. Well, right away I've gotten some stuff on my hand and it feels like it's burning. That's not a good idea. That's not a good We'll get that wiped up. Again, we had a lot of good toilet paper and or napkins in our MREs. They always did supply plenty of that. But it says add 2 teaspoons of water to our ketchup. So let's do that first. We'll get everything prepped, And again, out in the field, you didn't always have the luxury of heat, so we're going to pretend today, it's about 65 degrees out here today. We're going to pretend that we don't have the luxury of heat for our meal. I shorted that first one just a bit, so I'm going to add just a little more. There we go. All right, mix that together. We're going to pretend that we don't have heat. We're just out there in the field. You got to eat it the way you got it. But I did get some heat tabs that we used to use back in the day, and we will share those on a future video. Well, there we go. A little dark, looks more like barbecue sauce than ketchup, really. We'll deal with that here in a minute. All right. And then finally, our Frankfurters. Let's see what's in these things. Oh, beef and pork. That's interesting. No chicken. So you got your beef, pork. It's not going to be kosher or halal. I think you call it meal. That's for sure. Not with the pork in it. And back when I was in, it didn't matter what your dietary restrictions were or anything like that. It was like, here you go, eat it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that's a good idea. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Frankfurters, a.k.a. 4 fingers of death. Honestly, they don't smell bad. All right, here we go. They used to have juice in them back when I ate them.
There's actually...
there's some juice. There you go. I told you.
I was worried that they would just be, just crazy looking, but that kind of looks pretty normal.
That's not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad. See, and that's the cool thing about these... we'll wipe our spoon off. I don't want to lick that off, actually. That's the cool thing about these spoons. We have a sharp end, so we can go and separate them. We'll be able to take a good look at them, a cross section, all that. I squeezed that a little too hard, but we'll get after that here in a minute. Okay, so got everything out on the tray. I do want to do my coffee real quick too here. Again, the hot cocoa and the coffee can both be drunk cold. We're out in the field. We got no heat. So we do have my canteen and canteen cup from when I was active duty. Somehow they let me keep that. I don't remember how that worked out exactly. Let's see here. I think we've reached the statute of limitations on that. It says 1/3 of a canteen cup, and it doesn't say it has to be hot. So let's take a look at the old coffee powder there. Oh, that's some very fine, very fine. There we go. We're going to have a little mocha with this deal here too. All right, get that stirred up good. You know, I'm going to let that just kind of dissolve like it is. And then we're going to add, it said something interesting on the cocoa. It said if you're going to have it cold, go about an ounce of water and make it into a paste. And then once you've made it into a paste, then add the rest of the water if you're going to have it cold. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll make it into a paste and add some more water here in a minute. Okay. Alrighty. Well, while everything's kind of soaking and sitting, we're going to say a quick prayer here and get started. Thank you so much, Lord God, for this time to share a meal from back in the day. I ask you to bless this food to my body in Christ's name. Amen. All right, so we've got the paste has been made. Add the rest of the water to the cold cocoa. That's almost totally dissolved. There we go. I remember when I was active duty, actually, we would go out in the field and play war games. And in being in intelligence, we had different things that we had to do, and one of them was we had direction finding equipment, and we would get on the enemy frequency and listen to them talking, and when we realized they were chattering a little too much, we get our direction finding equipment out and we call other guys that were in the same unit as we were in, and we'd be posted in different places, and you would triangulate. You would get the direction the signal was coming from on your radio, and the other two guys would do the same thing, and you'd run those lines and see where they all converged to find out exactly where the guys who were chattering too much on the radio were calling from. And then you call an airstrike, not really, but you call an airstrike in on them on that particular grid, and then a referee would run out there to see if they were at that grid, and if they were, then they were dead. They were decommissioned for the rest of the operation. So that was one of those things when you're sitting there drinking your cold coffee and your cold hot chocolate and your Four Fingers to Death, at least it made the day a little more interesting. And the idea of doing it wasn't just to mess with guys, but it was to teach them. You don't just sit and talk about your girlfriend or what you're going to do when you're done with this op on the weekend or whatever. You keep it serious and you keep it for what we're supposed to be talking about. So anyway, well, let's try a little cold coffee first, a little cold brew, military brew. It's cold coffee, which I know a lot of people like iced coffee. I'm not a big fan, but it tastes like coffee. If it was warm, it'd still taste like coffee. It's a little bitter, and I've had some people say, oh, if it's too bitter, add just a few grains of salt. I thought it was a joke, but I've had so many people say it. Let's just put a little bit of salt in there, because it is quite bitter. See if that doesn't take a little of the bitterness away. I don't know if it really will. I don't know how much salt will dissolve in cold water, but let's give that a try. I don't know, psychological or not, it seems like it might have taken a little edge off, but I'm not going to put too much in there. Let's see if some cold sweet coffee will help. Throw some sugar in there. I don't know if creamer would actually dissolve in a cold mix. I think we won't test the creamer. And we don't want to ruin the coffee, right? Creamer might be bad. Yeah. All right, let's try that. It didn't, yeah, that sweetener did actually help the cold coffee. That's not too shabby. I'd have drunk it in the field. I'd been drinking water too, but I would have drunk it. So let's get over to our jam. Now we got to be careful here because this is really discolored. All the solids are melded together. They're not mixed up good any longer. And let's see what it smells okay. You know, it tastes like grape jam. It's not too bad, actually.
I was gonna say, if there's any jam that probably ages really well, it's probably the grape one.
Crackers are still very crunchy. Crackers taste stale, though. There's a real, stale taste just in the cracker. But for 42-year-old grape jam, 42-year-old crackers, not a bad setup there, truly. Not bad at all. Let's try a cracker on its own. Let's cleanse the old palate here a minute. Just a plain old cracker. Man, that's fine. Really could use some cheese or peanut butter. That's really the go-to with MREs. That I always traded for cheese or peanut butter, mainly peanut butter, but not in this one. Well, that wasn't too shabby. Let's move over to the beans now. Now the beans, they don't even pretend there's meat in them. Some of the beans are a little darker than others. That may, I mean, it smelled okay coming out, but
I'm worried for you.
if things go bad in the past, it's been tomato stuff. Let's just well, you know what? That there's something tangy. No, those beans shouldn't be that tangy. Yeah, they've gone sour or hard or whatever you call it. Yeah, they're just a little too tangy. We won't be able to get into the beans today, guys. I'd say I'm sorry, but it'd be a big lie. So, too bad. So the beans are a no-go. They weren't any good back in the day anyway. They were always so mealy and just pasty. And when you threw those dogs after them, they just ran through you like... Anyway. Okay, let's try a little ketchup before we mix it with our dogs, if we can eat the hot dogs. Try a little freeze-dried ketchup there, or powdered ketchup. Smells like barbecue sauce ketchup. Wow, that is salty and whoa. It is. It's really tangy, barbecue saucy. Yeah. Wow.
And that's not just the way they made it back then. It's just it's aged.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I never remember having powdered ketchup when I was in. Obviously, they had it. This is the second meal from the 82 series that I've opened that has had ketchup, but I don't remember ketchup being involved. So that either I mentally blocked that out, or I never looked through my accessory packet good enough, which is a possibility. I don't know. I just don't ever remember having ketchup. Before we go on to our delectable wieners, let's take a look at our milk caramels. It just looks good, but it does have sweetened condensed milk in it, and that can go bad. So we'll see about this. Would you like to try one, sir?
No, thank you.
Let me go first. All right. They smell sour.
Oh.
Yeah, they do.
If they smell, I would say, because milk is definitely going to be 40-year-old milk.
Yeah.
Don't age.
We'll just have a little.
Oh.
Yep. Nope. Nope.
That's a shame because caramel still looks good. No matter how old it gets, it looks amazing.
I wonder if you could cook it. You know, like melt it down or something. Yeah, it wouldn't be any good. That's too bad. That's really a crime. That's really too bad. Shoot. You know, we've had that in sea rations, old sea rations I've opened too. They've had caramels, and it's like, oh, maybe, and nah. Well, here we go. Let's do a cross section of our Frankfurters. See, they don't look bad actually. They
that
honestly
actually surprises. I thought they'd be black coming out.
I'm surprised you can even tell they're hot dogs, let alone that they look that good.
They smell strangely odd. Look at the you can see the jacket is just peeling right off of them, if you will. That comes off. That's ready just to peel right off. Yeah, they're the ground chicken or the ground beef and pork is in the casing, and yeah, it's separated from the casing. Oh, there we go. Just kind of. There you go.
Just skin. Skin.
Yeah, we'll just try a little tiny piece. Glad we saved some napkins. What a disappointment.
Gosh, those actually they look good too.
They're just a little, something's, excuse me, not good. As they were in my mouth longer, it was like, no, this is bad, get it out. You know, I haven't been sick yet on any of this stuff. I'm not wanting to start now. Guys, 42-year-old hot dogs. No, you don't want to go there. Even if they've been packaged well and put up good. Yeah, see, my mouth is totally, it's like, remember there was one that the water, it felt like the water was just wicking out of my mouth. That's what's happening.
It totally dehydrated your mouth. It's like your mouth had a reaction to the food. It's the same thing then. Hey, at least we still have the gum.
We do still have the gum.
40-year gum usually is not too bad.
Would you like to partake in the gum?
Sure, I will take care
wow.
of partake of the gum.
All right. Well, the good thing about gum too is it, cheers, cleans your teeth. Well, maybe not this.
That's kind of hard.
That's hard. It won't last too long. Oh wait, I can't have gum yet. I have chocolate.
Oh. Well,
all right.
Well, that's not bad gum.
Well, I'll find out here in a minute. I've got to, well, I'm running out of napkins. I got to clean my spoon off of the hot dog nasty. And we are going to hope that our cold cocoa is going to be all right. I have water standing by. Must not have any milk in it. It tastes fine. In fact,
it's because it's powdered. We've had good luck. If the powder isn't wet, the powdered stuff is good.
yeah, and if it doesn't have, I have had some powdered stuff. Of course, that was in C rations. Powdered stuff went bad. The milk product went bad in it. But that either doesn't have milk in it or it hasn't gone bad. That's actually, if you like chocolate, that's pretty darn good. I wonder what, well, I can't do it with the coffee now because I put my caramel in there. So that's over. But, well, guys, some good gum for sure. Cleanse the teeth off good. It's rather unfortunate because I was hoping to at least share with you the taste and texture of the Four Fingers of Death, but as it is, that can't happen. I have more of these 42-year-old MREs, and I have some other good, got some British ones, Australian ones. I got some fun things coming up. Let's get after the next one.